citizen action of Wisconsin, and we are very excited to release today the Wisconsin Values Budget, which it was quite a process. There are 28 groups involved in this. There was a huge amount of policy work. And the question we want to answer is, we want to answer the question that really Governor Walker has raised. He has said that draconian cuts in education, in healthcare, and public services are absolutely essential to balance this budget. The crisis is so deep. And what we want to look at is there a more balanced approach where people pay their fair share and we don't have to make these draconian cuts that are to healthcare, to education, crucial public services, to public transit. And what we found is that in Governor Walker's budget, he not only does not ask large corporations and the wealthy to pay any more into the system, at the same time he's having public service workers make a tremendous contribution and gutting other services, he actually digs the hole deeper by giving additional tax giveaways to corporations, both in this budget and in the special session. And that if you actually have large corporations and the wealthy pay their fair share, you make them make the same sacrifice that public employees are already making in this budget with their health care and pension give-backs, then you actually can have a budget that is balanced and does not require draconian cuts. So the cuts in this budget are very, very modest compared to the Walker budget. But we have $1 billion, a little over $1 billion in contributions from large corporations and from the wealthy. And all we do with corporations is bring them up to the national average in terms of what their share of the state budget and paying for public services. So this is not anything that would affect Wisconsin's competitiveness. It's just simple fairness and equity. So what we are saying in this budget is that we can continue to have a first-class education system at the primary and secondary education level, technical colleges and university levels. We continue to have Badger Care, senior care, family care, the other crucial health programs for seniors and people with disabilities and for low-income people who need health care. We can continue all these investments, which are absolutely essential to having economic opportunity for everyone in this state, to having security for seniors, for people with disabilities, basic security, and basically having all the elements you need to have a free and prosperous society in Wisconsin. These are historic investments that are being rolled back and undercut in this budget, and it doesn't need to happen. But the only missing piece in Walker's budget is corporations and the wealthy paying their fair share. This budget shows how you can do that and how you can balance this budget and still invest in everything we need to invest in to create opportunity, security, and freedom for everyone in Wisconsin.
The governor's plan involves $1.5 billion worth of givebacks by public sector workers and $2.5 billion worth of cuts to Wisconsin's essential public services, everything from public education, care for the elderly, people in need, public infrastructure. The alternative approach accepts the givebacks that have been offered by public sector workers, but makes one important difference. It provides an additional $500 million worth of aid for local governments that the governor has been unwilling to provide, undoing $500 million worth of cuts in local services that would have to be made under the governor's budget. The Wisconsin Values Budget, unlike the governor's, does not dig the hole any deeper. Governor Walker begins the whole process by adding $400 million to the problem in additional tax cuts for the wealthy, corporations, and other adjustments. We would roll those back and save the $400 million so it can be spent on programs serving
Governor Walker's proposal threatens Wisconsin's entire family planning program, as well as our entire federal maternal child health block grant. This grant helps uninsured women get prenatal care and immunizations for their newborns. The consequences for Wisconsin would be dire. More unintended pregnancies, more cases of STDs that can result in infertility or threaten a young person's health, and fewer cancer screenings for uninsured men and women and many women with undiagnosed cancer might not get care until it's too late. Our infant
a way to not have the draconian cuts that Walker is proposing just by having corporations and the wealthy pay their fair share like everyone else is doing in this budget. Public employees, all of the kids, seniors, people with disabilities, all those who depend upon and rely upon public services for opportunity, for security, and for the freedom to live fulfilling and independent lives. And so all we are saying is, this is a better idea. We want the governor, want the legislature to seriously look at this and not dismiss it because they've already made their decision. We want them to look at real alternatives to the draconian cuts that they are proposing and that are in the governor's current budget.